kids. This is music in Missoula, and I've been on hiatus or retirement, or I don't know, I had a brain fart. I forgot I had a show. And I came down to the library earlier this week and went, that's right, I have a show. Maybe I should find someone interesting. That's the hard thing, you know. Find someone interesting who's a musician and sober, and then ask them some questions and get to know them. And here I am. Look at it's Brooke Florence. Now I don't know if she uses that first one. I've never seen your name in print with a hyphen. Have you given up the Ferris?
I never had a hyphen, so it's always been like a kind of like a middle name.
Oh, all right. And I know,
around.
and unless you know Brooke, you wouldn't know that that's her maiden name. That because I've known Brooke a long time. Anyway, hey, this is Brooke, and I'm Gary, and I'm just an old retired music teacher here that still do some gigs in Missoula. And the premise of the show, in case you've forgotten, is just talking to local musicians, finding about who they are, dirty secrets from their past, what floats their boat, and then maybe something coming up. So it's a way for us to get to know people, musicians especially, here in town. And then the guy who's really the idea and puts it all together and makes me look intelligent is Scott. And Scott's over there with headphones on, pretending to manage this whole thing, when in fact he's probably listening to Wham or something like that. No, he's waving me off. Hey kids, this is Brooke. Say hi to Brooke. Hi,
Hello.
Brooke. So, it's and I don't want to do too. Brooke, when's the first time we met each other?
Maybe, was it like 83 or something, or 82? Or
You were in high school.
I was in high school. I was in high school in Stevensville.
All right, but you came from
Malta.
Oh, really?
Malta, Montana, yeah.
Why did I've always told the story, that's why I thought I better have you tell it. I always thought you came from Circle.
Oh no, that was way before Malta.
Oh, but you came from Malta. And
Yes.
had you been with that little band director, Edgar Bretson? Was that before him? Ah, good.
Charlie Leibfried.
Okay. Yeah.
Leibfried.
Oh, good.
In Malta.
Scandahuvia in Malta.
Yes.
Didn't Edgar Bretson go there later?
He was there later.
Okay,
Yeah. I was
okay.
pre-Edgar Bretson.
See, I had it wrong. But you had been to Circle. So
Yeah.
your dad was a banker.
Yes.
Okay.
And every time the bank would sell, they'd ship all the higher ups, off to a new place.
And bring their new people in.
Right.
All right,
right.
yeah. But you had been, all right, so do tell, before Malta, what?
Before Malta,
Yeah.
it was Circle.
Okay.
And before that, it was Roundup. Roundup, Montana. And
I heard that Roundup is not the end of the world, but you can see it from there. That's the joke.
Very likely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before Roundup?
Before Roundup was, I think Helena, and Great Falls was
Before that?
before that.
Oh my gosh, the old man
Yes.
got shipped
It was
around
all
a lot.
over
So
on
small
that
banks,
side.
independent banks, is that what the deal was?
No, I think it was like maybe First Security and banks like that.
Okay. And they shipped. So anyway, so I recall it was in the middle of the year.
Yep.
After Christmas.
Yep, I do remember that too.
All right, and she showed up. I was teaching band at Stevensville at the time, and she showed up and had a saxophone, wanted to join the band. So glad to have you, and I'm thinking, the last thing I need is another damn saxophone player. All right, but I didn't say it out loud.
Oh,
I didn't
that's
say it out
good.
loud. That's right.
I'm
I
glad.
didn't want to hurt you until now. And she came in, and we had band. We were getting ready for District Festival, and I had no idea where I got Circle from. After a couple weeks, and we had one band in Stevensville. That was it. It was a high school band. At least it wasn't a 712 band. And there were a couple other saxophone players in the band. A choir teacher's kid, I think, was in band at that. Oh, I don't know how old kids are.
No, I think that was after me.
After you? Who played sax with you? We're going to get too personal now here. Like Leif Floten.
Oh, yes.
Low Flate. I always called him Low Flate.
Low Flayton, yeah, yes.
He's
And-
dead.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And Lisa someone.
She played tenor. She really-
Sturgeon.
the Sturgeon, Lisa Sturgeon. She's really a fluter, but she
Yes.
took up sax so she could play jazz band.
And I don't really remember everybody else.
So after a couple weeks, I remember you coming up to me after band, and Brooke was the softest and quietest soul I've ever met. Ever. You know, I had to lean in to her to hear what she'd say. And it was also in the middle of the year, and you've been new to the school, all
Yeah.
them Bitterrooters, I
Right.
can imagine. But I always imagined that you were a shy girl to begin with, but maybe sculpted by all that moving around.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe? But
yeah.
quiet. But all the kids were quiet, except Mom.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Mom must have done the
She'd
work.
talk your ear off.
And Dad was quiet too, at least
Yep.
in public.
He was
right.
pretty laid back.
All right, and Mom took up the mantle, or that's what Mom was, so everyone else adjusted to her, maybe?
Very possibly.
I had all three of the Ferris kids in band. Well, Brooke came in and she wanted to play a solo for District Festival. And she told me about that. In the back of my mind again, I'm going, shit, ain't gonna happen. What can I do? And that the deadline for registering for the event had long passed.
Oh,
Long past. But I didn't want to tell you that, because the guy, your old band director, is going to send the music.
that's right.
All right, sure.
Yep.
And I'm going, again, in the back of my mind going, yeah, we'll see what it is. Another week or so, you came and saw me again and told me about it. I said, well, So now I'm kind of on the spot, like, 'cause I know I can't get you in, but I don't want to break your heart. I go, oh, that's nice. She said, what would you like? If it was you wanting to play it for me, or if I asked you. I think it was you.
It was probably me.
Okay, good. That you were
Because
promoting
I didn't know
yourself.
any piano players, I
Okay.
think. Might have
Yeah.
been.
That
Yeah.
might have been. And she asked if she could come play it for me. That's the way I remember it. And I said, sure. How about today
And
after
I remember it was one of those Handel transcriptions.
Okay.
I remember it was Handel.
Okay. And not a great transcription, but
No,
here,
just
play this classical stuff.
Yeah,
and
like the kind of thing that maybe you don't want to hear on saxophone normally.
most did. Oh no, it wasn't French. That's for dang sure.
No, it
Okay.
wasn't.
I said, and I poo-pooed her, and said, oh yeah, sure. Come in after school. Okay, good. And sure enough, after school, and there she is in my office, which is right there in the music suite. And I said, well, hey, just go in the band room and warm up, and I'll be out in just a little bit. I'm doing paperwork, and as I'm doing paperwork, I finally become aware that there is something beautiful going on out in the band room. And I couldn't believe it. I had no idea what level of player you were. You came from Malta. I'm thinking, I'm thinking of a way of how I'm going to let you down softly so I don't break your spirit, that there's just no way. And I heard you playing and just wandered out to the sound. And I remember surprising you. Oh, he's going to make me look better. Here, just look. That's that. I thought, okay, Brooke, go ahead. Could you play it from the top? And you started playing, and I was just blown away. It was just wonderful, and I stopped you abruptly. Is this what you remember? And I went and got the piano player.
Yeah,
The choir
I do remember
teacher
that.
was in an adjacent room, and I went and got Al. I edit the story, and I went in and got Al and said, Al, come here. And Al was a real quiet fellow and a saxophone player himself.
I never knew that.
Yeah, it was a crappy saxophone, but a saxophone player. And I invited him to come out, and I said, Al, listen to this. And he began to ask a question, and I just shut him down. He didn't know who the heck you were. And I asked you to play. You got maybe 16, maybe 32 bars in, and I stopped you again. I said, Al, will you will you accompany Brooke at District Festival? And Al had a slight stutter.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And it set the stutter off, and Al, oh my God. And I called Fred Nelson, who was the band director at Sentinel that I ended up at, because he was in charge of festival. I said, Fred, so I told you I'd do what I could. That's what I remember, because it was already done.
Yeah, yeah.
And Fred found a place for you. And then the rest is history. But that's the way I remember it. How close is my memory to yours?
I think it's just about right. Yep, that's kind of what happened.
Everything except Circle. Oh,
yeah,
what
right.
the heck?
Yeah, not Circle.
I remember driving through Circle.
Well, we were there, but before Malta.
Okay. All right. So maybe you were, what grade in high school were you?
I was maybe...
A junior?
Maybe.
All right. What year did you graduate? High school?
84.
Wow. So I'd only been there like 4 years, because I came to Stevensville in 80, midway through my bitterate tenure. All right. So saxophone player, marvelous. Did I set you up with Roger McDonald?
Yes.
God, I hope
yes.
so. That's my.
And thank you. That was great. That was very helpful.
Roger was the saxophone instructor here at the University of Montana at that time, and the personalities just meshed, and it was love at first sight, right?
Yeah,
for
it all worked
saxophoning.
out.
Oh,
yep,
good.
that was good.
And then you came here to go to school.
I did an undergrad here, and then when I finished, I decided I wanted to do a master's degree, and I really wanted to study with Fred Hemke. So I went to Chicago to do an audition for him, and there was a trombonist. Do you remember Larry Heidel?
Yeah.
So he was like a year older than I was, and he was already at Northwestern studying.
Oh, I didn't know
so
that.
I went and stayed with Larry
No,
while I
with
did
a trombone
this audition.
player. I'm sorry, and Heidel's brother.
That's right.
The older brother and I were colleagues for a bunch of years at Sentinel. Stay with Larry.
Yep, and he kind of helped me navigate, and so I went and played for Hemke, and it all worked out, and it was a really exciting audition. I remember playing for him, and I had played for him pieces that I did on my senior recital, and there was one piece that had like some altissimos in it, and then he said, we can even do more than that, and he was a really big guy.
He was at least 6'4", 6'7".
I think he was like maybe closer to 6'10".
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, an Abraham Lincoln look is what I always put together with him.
Yeah, he did. He looked like all he needed was a hat.
Yes, and Brooke, you're not quite 5 foot, are you?
I'm maybe on a good day around like 4'10" and a half.
Get the visual, it's like I remember seeing you with Hemke, and it looked like a sideshow because of the difference in heights. Anyway, okay.
But in this audition, he was showing me that how fun and easy it was to play these other altissimo notes, and
which are extremely high notes in the saxophone and really fake notes. They are, in my opinion, covered in special overtones, but what they really are, they're just squawks. They are.
Oh, but they're lovely, beautiful squawks.
Hey, if indeed you can control it, and you could. There's plenty of people that can't.
but so he said, well, I just want you blow, and all fingered. So he stood behind me because he was.
Yeah.
And he fingered the horn, and I blew, and all these things were just blowing
on your audition.
In my audition, yeah. Oh. And I was so excited because it was so much fun. Oh. It was kind of a breakthrough. And so then I was...
Roger was just more of he was a quieter soul.
Well,
right?
and mostly an oboist.
Yes.
But he played saxophone, too. And he was a very good musician, But
yep.
So anyway, after this, with the high notes and things, I was excited, and I was jumping up and down. I was so excited, and Hemke was jumping up and down, and he said, "You're in!" And so
what a lovely experience, because auditioning for a big big time schools. How nervous were you?
Very nervous. He was, a great recording artist and
Yeah.
and
Legendary.
in the saxophone world
Yeah.
and kind of the
Next
top
to Larry
teacher.
Teal,
Well, and
Larry Teal taught at University of Michigan.
yes, but he wasn't teaching there
Yeah, right.
when this was
Right,
yeah.
right. He'd already retired.
Right. So anyway, I think that year, the next year when I went to Northwestern, I don't remember how many undergrads there were in Hemke's studio, but there were only 6 of us grad students. So that was really cool
yeah.
to be involved in that.
Sure, and what a
really changed
stable,
my life.
what a stable of monster players all doing
Yes.
their graduate level work together.
Yes.
And did you all? How cutthroat was it? Did you guys get along?
Oh,
okay?
we all got along great. There were undergrads that were more cutthroat.
Okay.
But all the grad students.
You'd already proved your stuff somewhere else, and you're more mature, older folks.
Yeah, a little bit anyway. A little bit
For saxophone players. Yeah.
for sax players. That's right.
Hey, now that you played something on your senior recital here when you graduated at University of Montana, and Al, and your first piano player in Stevensville, Al Benson and I came up to it. And we're sitting in the back row. You must have told us about it, because and we came to it, and it was, of course, lovely. And Al and I are smiling like Cheshire cats in the back of the room. And you played a slow movement. And and I don't know if it was a standalone.
That was.
You know it.
I remember you saying that that you wanted.
That's why I didn't want to set her up.
You wanted it played for something. Was it for something for
My
you?
death.
At some point? Your death.
My death, my imminent death. What was it?
It was the second movement of the Creston Sonata, I think.
Really?
I think so. I think so, because since then,
Creston.
at one point, I think that I had one of your students over at Sentinel was playing that piece, and I remember you said, "Oh, that's the piece. That's a piece that I want played at my funeral." That's right.
Creston. And yes, I didn't know. I thought it was something more Frenchy in nature.
I don't
so I
think
got to
so.
go
I
back
think
and
it was-
listen to it.
I think it was-
Because I played Creston, his trombone work when I was doing my undergraduate, and we all played Creston. All right, good. I've got to go back and listen to it. Middle movement of the Creston.
Yeah.
All right.
You'll have to
What's the
see if
deal?
that's it, because what if I'm wrong?
That's right. I wouldn't know. I'd be dead. But the deal's still on, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's
Okay.
on. It's on.
You stuck around Chicago after graduating. Did you
Yep.
do your master's in 2 years?
I did. Actually, it was a 1-year program
Oh, geez.
for a master's degree. And it was pretty intense
I
year.
bet.
But, it was great. And yes, I stayed.
You weren't
in
ready
Chicago.
to come back to Montana. Or was it
No.
more than that?
Well, no, I just decided I was going to stay. And, in that year, there's only so much stuff you can do in Chicago in 1 year.
Yeah. And there's a plethora of stuff to do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
but
my God.
for a student that's expensive.
Sure.
Like if you do a little something here, or you go to a concert, or you I don't know, you go to a museum or something, that kind of blows your extra money
There
for
we
a
go.
while.
Sure.
So yeah, it's you got to space things out, right?
A responsible kid. She's not a brass player.
But it was fun to be there, and I remember I managed a record store.
Tower.
Rose
Dang it.
Records.
Rose. And is that a
Rose.
local independent?
Yes, but so I think it was a chain, but it was owned by a local guy.
Okay.
And I think his last name was
Rose.
Rosenbaum or Rosenblum or something like that.
Rosencrantz. No.
It was something like that,
no
though.
kidding.
And the stores were like all over, Chicagoland, but then also in, like neighboring states, like right around that area.
Oh.
But it was a really big store that was about the same size as Tower.
Yeah.
So there was a Tower downtown in Chicago, And I know that Rose Records was just like a few blocks away.
All right.
There was a Rose on Wabash.
I had in my mind it was Tower. And how long did you do that?
Like maybe 4 years or
All right.
something.
And during that time, I scored a postmaster's fellowship at Northwestern. And it was all paid for, and it was enough credits over the summer, and I applied to do more than what they offered. And I went, hey, if I'm coming back there and spending the summer, I need to have, I want to get everything I can, because I can move over in the salary schedule. If I took enough credits and put me at the top, and I'd finally almost be making enough money so I could send my kids to swim lessons,
And it wasn't it like Arnold Jacobs or something?
Yeah, there was a name on the program itself, but it was like 10 grad students that already had a master's and already taught for 10 years. It was catching us young professional teachers before we burned out. That was the idea, because that's about the time that you kind of go, boy, is this all there is to it? Is this it? Am I going to do this for another 30 years? I don't know if I can do that. And it was a real kick in the butt. And I think I got in because I was from Montana.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's like, hey, there's someone teaching music in Montana. And it was just a fabulous summer. But Brooke was living there. You took me, the closest thing I'd ever been to, like a Cheers bar. That's what it reminded me of. What was the name of that?
Right. It was called Pepe's. The Pepe's Mexican restaurant.
Oh, that way. It wasn't just a bar?
No. We
didn't have anything to eat, did we?
I don't remember. I don't remember, because we used to go, the record store people used to go to Pepe's. Like every Friday you went to Pepe's. And the guy that owned it, I can't remember his real name, but we just called him Mr. Pepe.
Sure.
And there was that guy that was the mailman.
Yeah, like a character from Cheers again.
Yes.
Because I took the L. I didn't have a car or anything like that. I took the train or the L or something, and Brooke told me how to get there. And I walked in this bar, and it was Cheers. Everyone in the place knew you, and you introduced me to all these characters in the bar. And then we sat and chatted. We didn't eat. Chatted and drank beer. Dos Equis.
Okay.
Yeah, dark.
That was a long time ago.
Just the fact that she was drinking beer.
Long time ago.
It was like, Brooke, are you kidding me? You drink beer? And everyone knew you, and it was so much fun. And then
it was fun.
I got on the train to go back to Northwestern, and you called me.
To make sure you made it.
Yes, it was so cute.
Because I wanted to make sure you got off at the right stop.
And I did. God, it was before cell phones, so I don't remember, we must have had a landline in this little dorm room that I was sharing with another grad student. Anyway, so out of the blue.
That's right, it was before cell phones.
Yes. And we connected up in Chicago, and then I didn't see you for plenty of, and you finally came home. What brought you home? Or back to Montana?
I think I just got kind of tired of the city, being in the city.
Yeah.
And I remember that Hemke wanted me to go to Texas because there was a job opening down there, like a private studio, like what I do now.
Yeah.
But this guy, one of his students was moving or something, and somebody needed to go down there and take over, like a 20-person saxophone studio down in like outside of Dallas or in Dallas or something like that. And I remember I said, I can't do that. And he said, well, why not? And I said, because there's like the death penalty in Texas. I can't go to Texas. And he said, what? What's that got to do with you?
Yeah.
You're not going to be
killing anybody. No one's going to kill you.
I was just, no, I can't do that. No, that's a bridge too far. and so, I went back to Montana, and Roger was leaving, I think, for a year to be in Germany or something like that.
Sabbatical?
So I was a sabbatical replacement.
Oh, see, I don't know where I was. What year was that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, good.
I'm
if
not
I was
sure.
here in Missoula or not, I probably was by then.
Yes, you were in
Big Sky.
Yep, you were at Big Sky. That's
Okay.
right. Yeah, you were.
All
were
right,
at
but
Big
you came
Sky.
and got so you had a job at least, and you did
I had a job.
Roger's gig.
Yes, I did Roger's gig, and I remember that they paid me partly in credits. And they said, we could give you so much
Yeah?
as a salary, and then we want you to take some classes. You need to
Broaden your
do
perspective.
something, right? And you could get a teaching certification. And so I
you
said-
already knew from the get-go. You didn't, I'm sorry. There you go. I made it go away.
Well, so I took some
You did.
ed classes.
Well, they made you do it because that was how they were paying you.
right on the graduate level.
All right.
So I had to take the what do you call that? The GRE or something.
Yes,
first,
graduate record exam.
Because
You'd already finished a master's and
yes, well, and I pointed that out because they said, well, we just need to make sure you're capable of doing graduate level work. I said, well, I already have a master's degree.
Yes.
From Northwestern, and they said, oh, well, you still have to take the test. So I took the test,
of course it was no problem.
and I don't remember. I remember
passed the test.
that somebody said, would you like to see your score? And I said, no, not really. And so then, I took these classes and I taught, and and that was all fine. And at some point I said, no, I don't think I want to teach in the public schools, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. So,
Because you didn't do any ed courses as an undergrad, did you?
no,
It was just playing saxophone.
it was just, yep.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, yep. So then I just decided, okay, well, let's just start a big private studio because there were really not a lot of saxophone instructors in Missoula at that time. So started teaching, and it just kind of grew. The students grew from
And you've
there.
probably been doing it 20 years?
Oh, it's probably
Yeah.
been like over 30 years.
Oh, geez.
It's been over 30 years, I think.
All right.
I think so.
So, our city is full of saxophone players and teachers. Over the years, saxophone itself, the instrument itself, has become so popular that we just shake our heads. I wish I had that many clarinet players. But we have this wealth of saxophone and talent. I mean, all three of the local band directors are all saxophone players. You know what I mean?
Right.
There are
Right,
saxophone
and two of them were our students. Students of Check-in Line.
Hot dang, isn't that nice? And then there's another one, a middle school kid.
Yes.
Another one of those. And Brooke just brought up the next possible stuff, she and Chuck.
Oh, that's right.
Look at that, nice note that segue. Note the segue. What about Chuck?
Well, I was running a saxophone festival. I had set up this saxophone festival in the Flathead,
Okay.
and it was so it was in Kalispell.
All right, and you probably brought that Wazoo guy over.
I did, but I also brought each time Hemke came
Oh, okay.
from Chicago. So he was the classical person, and then Washington State University, Greg Yasinitsky.
There we go.
He was a director of jazz studies, and he was a saxophone prof over there. So he would come and give a big clinic on, jazz saxophone, and there would be master classes and clinics, and all sorts of people from different universities all over the U.S. really came to this, and high school kids, younger students and things, and it was fun. But I met Chuck because I was setting up a benefit concert for that, and I wanted to do kind of a joint thing with some classical and also some jazz. And so I thought, let's get Jody Marshall, and I think Pete.
Pianist extraordinaire who's also gone.
Yes, and I think Pete Hand was maybe, it might have been Pete, or I'm not sure. It
Who
might
was
have
pre-Pete? I can't remember.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Don Moss, maybe.
I don't know if it was. I don't know who was there, but I know that, and I know Chuck was there, and that's how I met him.
And then they fell in love, or did sign a contract. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they share studio space, and you have a studio in your in
In
your
our
house,
house,
up
yep.
in the South Hills. And Chuck
Yep.
teaches clarinet and jazz, and then Brooke teaches legit sax.
Yes.
Right? That's the way it
Yeah.
goes. And some guys take both. Saxophonists who want to play jazz take legit from Brooke and then take jazz from Chuck.
Yes, and so they're more well-rounded than we are.
Yes.
Because I'm kind of in my own. I'm in my own little ballpark. You know, I play.
You
I play
do legit
classical.
sax.
Classical
I'm sorry,
saxophone.
you folks like to call it classical instead of legit. Okay.
Well, I'll bet though that legit, you know, that kind of makes.
It's got a negative connotation, doesn't it?
Well-
But I don't mean it. Now, when you came to university, you didn't play in the jazz bands at all, did you?
No,
Not once.
no, I didn't. Because that was one of the things that Roger, you know, called it the J word.
Oh, so he.
Yes.
Oh,
Which is
so you
not-
followed your teacher's guidance.
Right.
Oh, because I figured that I taught her everything I know, and she still don't know nothing about jazz. But
That's true though.
And Northwestern, you didn't do jazz at all.
No, well, you know, it was enough on
Yeah,
your plate
I bet.
to be doing the classical stuff.
Oh, and then years have passed, and I see Brooke just occasionally, and then did Chuck talk you in
Yeah.
to playing at Ed Norton Big Band?
Yeah.
Did he talk you? I don't know
Well,
that
I
he
think
did, but
I just remember that he said, "Oh, it'd be great. You could play that second alto part. It'd be fun." He says, "Because we need people who can read.
there we go.
You can read. I know you can read those parts. It'll
Yeah.
be great." So
and you'll learn to swing, and you came up. So
Yeah.
Brooke started showing up to Ed Norton.
yeah,
And I just harassed her a little bit, like, oh, look, and of course she reads like crazy, and now she's swinging, and it's a little.
but
it's
I still don't improvise.
That's right. In
So
the
whenever
second-
whenever there's a solo that comes up in my part, I just
You
look at
pawn
Chuck and
that sucker.
I say, "Hey, you got a solo at E," and then
He leans over
Yeah.
and does it, or doesn't
and
lean over. He
no,
just
he
turns
just
his ears on.
stands up and plays the solo, and
gosh.
it's fun.
Yes. So it was like date night. And so we play together in the Ed Norton Big Band. And we've got a gig coming up. Now, she's just, your latest thing, this thing with Caitlin, it's got a big name. It's got her series. She's got something
It's part
going
of
on.
it. It's chamber music, maybe chamber music, Missoula.
Maybe?
I'm not
I think it's
entirely
even
sure.
a better name than that.
Oh, could be.
Maybe a chamber collective. I don't know.
Oh, could be.
But I've had her on the program before, Caitlin Sisler, who's a wonderful vocalist here in town, and
Yes,
she
she's
started
got a beautiful
chamber.
voice.
Oh my God! And she started chamber music. Chamber music is just one on a part, so it's intimate. It's just a few voices or instruments or combinations of those, and she's just looking for a place to be able to perform and sing locally, and then bringing in other folks. And she just had one here pre-holiday
Yes.
that you were involved
And it
in.
was, it featured music by Schubert.
Okay.
And so her husband, Jesse,
Band
Docnall,
director at Hellgate.
yes, is
And another damn saxophone.
Is a
player.
saxophone-
A monster saxophone player.
a great saxophonist,
Yes.
yes. So it was for saxophone ensemble and soprano voice. And so there were these arrangements, and they were really, really interesting arrangements. And there was, Jesse played bass saxophone, and there were 6 of us in this saxophone ensemble. It was really fun to work on that.
I bet.
Yeah.
And what's coming up for you? Not including Ed Norton.
Well, I think I might have told you that I did not too long ago a concert for pipe organ and alto
All right,
with Nancy Cooper.
Did you do it at the Presbyterian? Oh, no, not
It's the,
Presbyterian. Episcopal?
Yes.
Okay. That's where
Yep.
her home church is.
Yes, and she kind of prefers the sound of that organ.
Sure.
And it was
It's a
really
it's
fun.
a lovely instrument.
It was really fun to play there.
I bet.
And so we're planning another concert at some point.
Cool. And she was she your teacher as an undergrad? Did you have
no,
Don Ellis?
No, I
was
had.
Don Ellis
yeah,
here? Oh,
I had. Yeah, John Ellis was so. He was.
Oh yeah, I said Don.
He was,
didn't I?
but he was fun,
Oh.
too.
Yeah.
Because he, as a theory prof, he was just.
Stellar. And you know
Yeah.
where he did his graduate work, eh?
Was it Michigan?
Sure.
See, I had a feeling. How did I know that?
I'd done my undergrad at Michigan, and all of a sudden, here I am in grad school, and we went through the same scenario at Michigan. So when it came time for Schenkerian analysis, I just killed it. Just killed it because I already understood the concepts behind it. And he was nice enough, and I was living in the Bitter, and I'd stop I'd run through Lolo on my motorcycle, and he would come out because he was living up Lolo, and we'd meet and drive in together on our motorcycles. It was just a wonderful experience, and he's a great teacher.
He did, when I was a senior over at UM, he gave me a ride on his motorcycle. And that was so exciting. That was great.
Let's see. If he didn't, we'd buy each other coffee sometimes, and when he was broke, he'd say, down to the brownies. All he had left was pennies left. Or my favorite quote of John Ellis was, "It's further to Butte than by bus."
Well, I remember that he told me one time, well, when you don't know what to say, and you're in the green room and you're going through you have to go through the reception line after a concert, and you have to put in an appearance, but you're just not sure what to say because the concert was. He says, that's when you say, "Oh, good is not the word."
And you've been able to fall back on that on occasion and use that
Although
line.
sometimes I'll hear that and I'll think,
the joke is out.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And she's playing what is New Year's Eve? I have no idea. It was the 31st, but I have no idea. Anyway, it doesn't, he'll probably have this thing out tomorrow. But the New Year's Eve, we're part of, is it called Music on Main this year?
I think so.
All right. What used to be called the
First night.
First night. And
Yes.
We've now transitioned away from that model. And everything, for the most part, is on Main Street. Is the Elks really on Main? I don't know. Close enough, I think.
Yeah, it's close to Maine.
I think so. A block up in front.
Maybe it's on the half street.
Maybe so.
Or something.
Anyway, there's a really good dance floor in the old ritual room, second floor of the old Elks building. I think is what it is. And we play big band dance with our local professional big band, the Ed Norton Big Band. And I think we play from 10 to like 12, 15 or something like that for your dancing and listening pleasure. And Brooke will be playing in that band. And we'd love to have you come on down and enjoy
That would be great.
the music, dance if you'd like to. There's a bar there now. So once we transitioned away from First Night, that was a strictly no alcohol thing. Now maybe we'll be able to keep this thing going for a little bit longer because some folks like to have some champagne at midnight. I know I do. We always make sure to get some champagne for the band. And have you got other things on the horizon besides what you do for your? What's with this swimming stuff? How the hell did that start? So Brooke teaches swimming.
Well, I had been like a member at the women's club.
Okay.
And finally I decided, because I had been a member for a while, and I decided, hey, I think I want to teach some of these aqua exercise classes.
Did you have a history of swimming? There's no swimming pool in Circle.
There is a swimming pool in Circle. Yeah, there is.
Okay.
And in fact, it's the only thing that kids do in the summertime because there's nothing else to do.
Sure.
And it's kind of out of town a little ways, like on the outskirts. I remember Mom driving us kids, and she'd drop us off in the morning, and then she'd come and get us at like 5. And that would be it. And, that's what you did.
Okay.
You went to the pool and you swam and,
All right. Something to do in the small town
Yes.
in eastern Montana.
Yes, but it wasn't organized.
No.
There was, I don't remember there being a swim team or anything like that.
It was just recreational.
Right.
And you took it up, and you do, is this a water aerobics class?
Water
is that what you do?
aerobics classes. And so I teach at the Peak now that the women's club is closed. But
yeah.
I taught there for like 20 years before they closed.
Sure.
And so I teach some joint mobility classes, for people who have arthritis or, joint issues or after a surgery and stuff
You
like
know
that.
what?
And then I have one yippity-skippity class Saturday morning that's more, just a little more energetic, but they're all energetic. I mean, they're fun.
Yeah?
I'll only play music I like.
Okay.
So I won't play anything. There will never be anything in there ever that's more
Country?
recent than the 80s. And no country. No country. And yeah.
I warn you, I'm getting old enough. Maybe,
You'll have to come.
I'll have to come sometime
fun.
and sign up for a class. And then also here recently, Brooke has weathered a bout of cancer. And she showed up to the gig with a babushka. We all like, oh, no, you missed the gig. You missed a New Year's Eve
Oh, that's
gig.
right, I did.
Oh, dang. And the next year she came back with a babushka and you all healed up and...
All healed. And I mean, I think that things are going well.
Good.
And I've just been super lucky.
Good.
And I have great doctors.
Yeah.
And really, I think in some ways it's been almost like a gift because you think about things differently.
I bet.
And so you play in settings that you want to play in. Now you do things you want to do, and if it's something I don't really want to do or I think I should do, but I don't really feel like I want to do.
But you came down and did this
I
interview
just say,
today.
Oh, but I knew it would be fun. I knew it would be fun to see you.
And we got caught up. And Scott's really good with editing. The guy can swear on this show, and he'll edit it right out.
But that's one of the reasons that I did that concert with Nancy Cooper, because I knew she was such a good musician that it would be wonderful to play, those pieces with the organ.
Yeah.
And then I knew it would be fun to play with the saxophone ensemble, and the big band
Again,
goes without.
Those are given. How many students in your studio?
Well, I have fewer students right now than Chuck does.
Okay.
But we have kids coming in and out of our house
All day long.
Yeah, from like 4 till 7
Okay.
every day.
And now that school,
Or
this
3:30
Friday,
or something.
it's their last day of school.
Right.
The last thing they're going to want to do is come to. Well, but with you, did you have to cancel a lesson to be here?
No.
Okay.
Nope, not today.
Okay, I was afraid of that.
No, it all worked out.
And if you're a saxophone player, or somebody who's a saxophone player and should take a lesson, because it's so much better.
I'd love to meet you.
It's so much better. It's so much more fun to play well. It's fun to play,
is.
but it's a whole lot more fun to not suck, to play
That's
well.
always good.
Right, and that's something as teachers that we do to help to have some fun. It's not all fun all the time.
No.
No.
It's work.
But
It can be work, but it's rewarding.
Yeah, that's right. And some work. Do you refer to your teaching as work?
It doesn't feel that way.
I intentionally don't call anything I do in music as work. It's just, I'm just fooling myself. Even when I went to school, I never called it work because work's got such a negative connotation to it as well.
Right. Well, and I taught all the way through, so during chemotherapy and all of that, I taught every saxophone student.
Is that right? You kept that up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all of that. I taught my classes out at the Peak, too. And, it was good because, kids have so much good energy.
Yeah.
When you're talking about music kids.
Yeah.
And that just was, it was great.
I bet.
It was great. Teaching the lessons made a big difference, gave me stuff to do. Otherwise, what are you doing? You're sitting around thinking.
Sitting around thinking, I'm just going to die is what I'm going to do here. I got you.
Right. And it was good to be active too and be teaching those water classes. Comes to turn out that if you have, if you're going through, say, chemotherapy and you're exercising, then that makes the chemo work better. Even
wait, did you just make that up?
No, I swear. I saw it. It's in an official study.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
You're not lying to me, just
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. And so because I'm a personal trainer, I go to people's homes and work with people that don't want to go to a gym.
Oh.
to work out, and set them up with programs and help them. And I'm planning to branch out and help people with that have been through cancer treatment who want to do
Okay,
that
specialized.
kind of thing. Yeah, a little bit.
Oh,
So it's all good though,
all good.
It's
Yeah.
It kind of broadens your perspective because
I bet.
suddenly you've experienced something very different.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
But hey.
Hey, so
good.
Brooke and I have known each other forever, but we never had a sit down.
That's true.
I don't think it's always just been bits and pieces or how you doing, and then yeah, I think the only time we went out to a drink and had a drink together and chatted was in that bar
Was in Chicago?
Mr. Pepe's.
Mr. Pepe's. That's right.
Well, this is Brooke Florence, and she's a wonderful person, and she's a great saxophonist and a teacher. And you see her in the street, you can say hi to her. Don't be too forward, but you can say hi to her. And she's, as you can tell, a good spirit and a fun person. And I'm so glad that you came on this Friday before Christmas.
Thank you for asking me. Thank you for having me over.
And I'm so glad we left Chuck out of it. He would have taken up all the talking anyway.
But he has lots of good stories.
He does.
He does.
We did some talking, because both Chuck and I are from Detroit, so that's why.
And actually, Chuck and I are very, very ardent Lions fans.
Yes.
Because we have watched them lose for
Over
so
and
many
over.
years. Every Thanksgiving.
So I'm thinking about bringing it. We may play the Lions fight song
That would be great.
at New Year's Eve, because I
Well,
got it today.
And that Chuck was in the band.
Yeah, that big band that
played
used to play at the Lions game.
With guests like Maynard Ferguson and
Yes,
things.
that it was a time and place years ago, but we shared this Detroit thing, and I found the piece of music. They have a fight song, and it was written by the band director at Wayne State, which is the urban high school down river in the city itself, and it was before World War II. And it really is a cute little song, and I found it, and I made scans of it today, and I made copies, and I
Oh, how
stamped the
exciting.
music today that maybe I'll bring, it's not a jazz band arrangement, but we can bittering it.
And Chuck says that they used to play it when they played, at the ball games.
Yeah.
They would play it first straight and then
as
they'd
written.
swing everything.
They got it. We can do that anytime. It's like Happy Birthday.
That's right.
We do the same thing with Happy Birthday. Hey, it's time to say, Scott's gone to sleep. Scott! We probably had too much fun. We wish you a great holiday season. Come and see us and enjoy our music at the Elks on New Year's Eve. And then as we continue to do music around Missoula, you'll know more about Brooke.
And go Lions.
There we go. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Take care. See you later.